Hello, everyone, and welcome to a stream talking about, I think, in my opinion, the next big sci fi series. And it's funny enough coming out of FX. My name is Ronan and Jane, and that means we are talking about the newest show from Noah Hawley. And folks, I we'll get into about how going into this series premiere, how I was feeling about this next installment to the franchise. And if you're a huge Alien fan, you're gonna want to be part of this. And let us know in the comments down below how you feel about it, the franchise as a whole, this series as a whole. And just a heads up, we are talking spoilers. So if you haven't seen it yet, give the first episode to try and then come out and hang out with us because we got lots and lots to talk about. But as you all know, when I do these streams, I hate doing them by myself. Most of the times, I need friends. And I remember I met up with this person for the first time not too long ago, and I was happy to hear that we were both huge Alien fans, and that's not then other than Omni Media. How you doing, Omni? I think you're mute.
I am.
There you
go. I'm doing good, man. A little tired, but hanging in there to talk some Alien.
I get it, man. I get it. Yeah, it's it's fascinating the turnout for this show. If I'm not mistaken, this was announced years ago, almost alongside as Shogun, and Shogun came out last year, and I was just like, "What the? When the hell is this show going to come out?" A friend of mine, Jorel, made fun of it. Like I was bad. He was bashing this show and be like, "It's never going to come out." The Fox merger with Disney, they're just going to can it the way they did a lot of projects, and lo and behold, they announced they were having a panel at Comic-Con. They had it. They showed footage. We went to an activation, which you can go check out on our feeds, which was a blast. But lo and behold, this show came out to 2-episode premiere, almost 2 hours worth of television. And I think I can say that we both dug it. I probably dug it more than you did, but I think we're both intrigued with what they chose to present with us and where this series might go as a whole. Mm-hmm. But I want to start with you. For those who may not have heard your thoughts on it, how did you feel before going into the series? How much did you know about it, and what were your thoughts going into? Me like, all right, Noah Hawley, I've heard of his name, but what's this series about in the franchise of Alien?
Yeah, I've never watched any of his shows before, so this is my first experience with anything that he's kind of had his hands on, other than some of the things that were put out in the ether before the show came out, which there was a little confusion there.
Yeah.
Going into it though, for the longest time, I think everything was pretty straight as far as like what they were going to do. It was 2 years before the first Alien, and it was going to be something you could just kind of jump into, which they had kind of set the expectation in maybe in a weirdly worded way that was up to interpretation. I think having watched it, I think it's basically like you can jump in without any prior knowledge. It'll kind of help carry you along. Yeah. Like, because they had mentioned kind of separating it in a weird way. I can't remember exactly how he worded it, but they were talking about, some people were thinking that it was basically going to be its own standalone universe and ignoring all the other continuities, save for the first film, kind of maybe a la, Halloween 2018 or something like that.
Yeah.
But right now, at least looking at it, because again, like sometimes when like executives, even showrunners talk about stuff, sometimes I think it can be twisted, misinterpreted, or whatever. So I always wait to see it through to see, does this actually contradict anything or not? So far, I think we're in the clear as far as that goes. And there was a date misconstruing that came out like the week before where he had completely went against all of the other timeline stuff they had already been talking about, because he had there was a comment he made when in an interview with Collider saying that, where was it? Hold on, I had it up here for it because it was I thought it was kind of interesting wording, especially like after everything, because they put out that official timeline that even Adam shared and whatnot, and I was just trying to like put it together, and then this Collider interview came out, and let me see. Where are you? Here you are. He said, I think we exist somewhere around aliens, around the James Cameron story. I haven't had to get crazy specific with it, but the events for the first film are referenced in the show at some point. So I think it's somewhere around the events of the second film, either before or just after. Which
The fuck?
Thirdly, false, unless in the next 6 episodes we get a huge time jump for out
Yeah.
of nowhere. So yeah, so I read that like this was like the week before the show came out, and I was like, "What? Okay, I don't even know now. I don't know what the hell we're going to watch at all." Like
Yeah.
trailer set up to what the marketing had set up until that point, but basically, long story short, is disregard that comment because, I mean, he's the guy show running, writing, and directing the first episode. That honestly, that didn't set a good expectation going into it if he doesn't know when this actually is.
Yeah.
But
Dude. Yeah.
but I really liked the first episode. You had a couple of I don't know. There was some times where I thought maybe the editing was a little jarring, a little janky at times. But for the most part, I really liked the setup. I feel like I've heard some people talk about like the stuff on the ship, kind of cutting away from that a lot. Kind of took a little bit away from it for them. But
Mm.
for me, I was like, that made sense to me. Like with the whole stuff with Morrow and the ship, and then the little taste we got of like the prejudices between the different types of synthetics, whether you're a complete synthetic or you're a cyborg or whatever, like all these fun little things with the corporation as well. But then like once everything starts to go awry, like we get like little flickers, little flashes and stuff like that. But it's like we've seen that movie before. Let's get to the new stuff. And it doesn't hesitate or take too long to get to that, which I really appreciated, especially with the whole opening bit with him and obviously what causes the ship to crash on Earth to begin with.
Yeah.
And it's done a really fun stuff at like because even in like the films, I think we've only ever really tackled only 2 of the 4 major corporations that to my knowledge at least, and they kind of really build out the world a lot more that's not really done unless you dive into like the comics and stuff like that at all. We get to learn a little bit about what Earth is like because at least in the movies, like we never actually ever see Earth or what
Yeah.
normal life is like. And
Yeah.
even on these ships, like and stuff, like getting to see like a lot of our experience with Alien, you even like the synthetics or the ships themselves are like run down or they've been in operation forever or they're old model synthetics and stuff like that. And then we get to go here and see like what the cities are like, where the life is, where the new stuff is, and where technologies continue to boom and evolve. But at the same time, the every person is kind of still just locked in under these overlording corporations and whatnot. And then it dives into this other idea of these synthetics and a new type of synthetic
Mm-hmm.
that really raises some interesting questions about what is life and what makes you human, what makes you you. And I think that conversation is the thing I'm really looking forward to, like maybe more than just whatever's going to actually go on with the Xenomorph is like,
Yeah.
where's that going to go? Because that's an interesting conversation we can have in this world that we haven't really tackled before, where we've seen the monster movie aspect of it, so it's something kind of new, but like there's a lot that feels like Alien, like the production design, the set design, the
Yeah.
sound design.
Mhm.
When we first open up on that ship and it's just like you hear the ship booting up, the systems coming on, even like when the text flashes on the screen and stuff like that, it just like it sent shivers down my spine because it's just like it's just that Alien ASMR that just it hits the right spots in my ear holes, and I love it. And so like I think the things that really kind of stand it apart is a little bit of the themes that they're tackling here with the synthetics, with our lead with Wendy and stuff like that, and what's going on with who and what she is, and then obviously the direction and the editing and the way the story is being told is, I think that's where I'm kind of bumping into it a lot, because it definitely feels the most distinct. Like if you're looking at it compared to some of the other entries in the franchise and whatnot, and sometimes it works, sometimes it works for what it's doing, but sometimes it kind of takes me out of it, like getting jump scared by Sid the Sloth.
Yeah, that dude. Listen, I
like I get why that was there. It was a story beat, but like the editing choice was just the goofiest looking thing
I can see that
in the entire show, outside of what's his name, Hermit, getting that literal dream bubble too. Like there's just, I think some of the editing, the stylistic choices, I think at times just throw me for a loop and feels like it's a little bit at odds with itself sometimes. And I don't expect to be cackling in the middle of an alien story, but I have found myself doing so a couple of times in a way that I don't think it's wanting me to or expecting me to. It's not like Aliens where the Marines are like shit talking one another and they're having fun ribbing each other and stuff like that or whatever. It's none of that. I was like, it's in these like what's supposed to be like these emotional gripping little moments, and I'm sitting here like, this isn't working for me. But then the murder stuff comes on and the existential stuff comes on, and then I'm like, okay, we're back for a second.
Yeah,
I'm here for that.
Yeah, it's been an interesting weeks, man, because soon as I saw,
went on a soapbox there, I guess.
No. I love that because I was, for the record, I love these 2 episodes, but I was also wondering, and and again, shout out to Jorel for joining me in my reactions. That we were both him mostly because he likes to look at it more out there than I am, but he kept saying, I hope this doesn't get canceled after 1 season. He's like, I don't know who's gonna watch this. I don't know if people are gonna dig this. He says, I know I'm digging it. I know you're digging it, but like I don't know if that's gonna be a whole enough for everybody. And he says also, I hope it's not just 1 season, because like, come on now, it's too good. It looks too good and feels too good. But yeah, even going back to that quote that they were saying about the producers or the executives, we were both walking to San Diego Comic-Con, and you read that to me, and I was just like,
yeah, because
like,
that came out while we were walking over. That was like I think we were on our way to the activation for the show, and then that tweet came out, and I was like, what is going on?
And again, like we were also, I was supposed to be, I covered the panel, and I was lucky enough to watch the first episode there. So going into it, I was just like, am I gonna be really ecstatic, or am I really gonna be like annoyed that I wasted an hour and a half of my life in the panel and then another half an hour to 45 minutes in an activation? Because I love Alien, you love Alien, and so it's just like, and not since Prometheus have I felt really good about it until Romulus showed up. I'm like, okay, there's something here. Not all of it worked for me, but there's something here.
Yeah.
And then we get to experiencing that at Comic-Con, which was fun. But then we get to the episode, and like I have to admit that I like to echo your sentiments. When I saw this stuff popping up, man, I was just like, holy shit! Someone had money and was willing to just throw that out and make it like look good for us. And I know some people wanted to see more of that initial crew that was there, but I knew as soon as it was cutting, I was like, okay, they know that movie's already been done before. Like at literally Alien. If you want to see what happens there, just go watch that. It's almost, I could bet you bottom dollar that's the exact same thing that happened, just different circumstances, where that's more of a pickup, truck crew in the first movie. This is more of like, zoologists who are carrying this very exotic zoo that God knows how, they probably, Weyland-Yutani probably weren't expecting to find these species, as it's told later on that like everybody thought they were extinct, But as soon as they found them, they were like, okay, the crew is expendable. Fuck them. As long as you bring all those specimens back home to our facilities, we don't care. Which is a fascinating take to go with Morrow, where I was just like, I'm fascinated by this dude, how he's very like cold and smooth and has almost like zero fucks about his job, and like the crew behind him, like, yo, we got to do what we got to do, get in line, or I swear to God, no one's getting paid. And it was just like, and I like you said, a lot of the existential stuff was very fascinating just to see Marcy in this place. And I echo, I encourage folks who have watched it only once, these episodes. Hello, Timothy Olyphant. That like you watch these episodes and go back, and then now that you've taken the story, experience it again, see if you catch stuff, because there's layers of things of like, what does this mean? Have we done this before in our world? Is this cruel? Is this advancement? Is this for the greater good of science? Like the notion of taking sick kids and turning them into guinea pigs and just saying, oh, let's see if we can crack the code and then see if we could, we could fuck around and whatnot. It just mind-bending to me, but I couldn't stop watching. And someone who I think is one of my new favorite characters in the franchise is fucking Boy Cavalier. This motherfucker must have watched Social Network over and over again before shooting his scenes, because this dude is awesome. He is charming, and yet I want him to go down. I want him to go down. I want people to like I want his specimens to like run him over, and it's just fascinating that like
he's Jesse Eisenberg's Lex on cocaine.
Yes. Yes.
The fact that he was holding that tablet and talking to Miss Yutani with his feet.
Yes.
I was like, get this guy a Jolly Rancher. Come on. The fact that like it's not even for advancement, which is the funny thing. All of this science, all of this life-saving technology that he's offering to these kids, quote unquote, offering to these kids, is purely so he can make a better human, so he can have a challenge.
So he's not bored. he's like, I'm bored.
Too stupid to talk to. Yeah. I want to create, maybe I have to create something that I can have an intelligent conversation with. So it's this completely vain mission that he's on. Meanwhile, the scientist heading the project's like, oh, we've cured death. This is immortality and stuff like that. We've he's like, cool. That's not why I'm funding it. He's legitimately insane. Yeah. He's so intelligent. Yeah. He's going to ruin everything in pursuit of this. My reaction, I liken to the I don't know if you are a Dragon Ball guy at all, but in Goku in his quest to fight the strongest opponents invites the possibility of universal annihilation just so he can fight somebody tougher than him. He's like, I'm risking my kids, my family, and everybody in this universe, because I want to fight that guy.
Yeah. Oh, that's fucking and dude, again, you get that later on in the second episode, but that probably like there's something schemy going on, because we see that like, okay, Marcy is sick, she's being given an opportunity, but it comes at a cost. She can't be with her brother anymore. It has to be private, it has to be in-house. And this was very poetic, very like, again, kudos to the production design and the camera crew who were doing this, because I was like, I'm in it. I don't know, this is effed up, but I am in it. And we get to Sydney Chandler's Wendy, which
she's fantastic,
amazing, dude.
Which I didn't say enough or at all. I don't think I've really dove into that. I talked about the performances in a general stretch, because I think almost everybody, I'm still kind of waiting to feel out her brother's character a little bit, because I'm a little confused about him. I think there's some aspects of his character we haven't really gotten to dive into yet, because we've only just met him.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's mental health stuff going on, depression. He's also obviously he's a medic, so he's seen some stuff, but I feel like sometimes some of his reactions feel like extremely tame. But I saw like one comment that was like, well, he's the last person in his family, so he may just be so depressed and he was unable to get out of his contract. He might just be done. Like he might just feel like absolutely, utterly defeated to his core. So like that, another day on the job. Spaceship just crashed down, and now this alien wildlife is running around, and he just kind of has a little bit of a fucking attitude until he's face to face with it, and then we get to see a little bit of it. But I was just like, dude's actually really calm after discovering these bodies had something literally birthed out of them.
Yeah,
I think he's just not there. Maybe clinically or because of everything that's been going on. I'm really interested to see what happens with him. Well, I don't know. Well, depending on what happens after the end of the second episode, because I don't know. We just got
cocoon. Yeah.
I'm expecting him to wound up gooed up somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really interested in that. But like, her and Morrow, I really love their performances, and she's so good at playing this adult child. It's kind of terrifying.
It's a mind fuck, dude. I keep telling like Jarrell and me, I'm like, dude, remember, these aren't adults. These are kids who and I said it like it's so sad that they got rushed. They missed out on puberty, on the teenage years, because now they're trying to combine. Oh, we're not kids anymore, but we are kids. And it's a mind fuck, dude. I was like fascinated by this.
The whole like mind transference thing too, barring the whole concept of whether or not they actually transferred or just made a copy of. Like, we don't know. They're treating it as if their consciousness has effectively been moved from the body over, even though logistically or logically, I have a hard time disconnecting that, as that's the fantasy element I have to really kind of lean into, because in my brain, it's just like, if the brain's a hard drive, even if you're moving that data to another hard drive, it's still a copy. So if the data on the original hard drive still fails, the original her dies, but a version of her gets to live. But it's not, is it her, or is it just a facsimile of her that gets to continue on for the benefit of their project? Who knows? The way they're treating it, at least, is that it's actually like a perfected transference. So until that conversation comes back around, I'm just going to have to silence that part of my brain and keep on going. But the fact that I didn't during the reaction during the watch, I was like, the thing I didn't even think about too was, and I'm glad they addressed it, because otherwise I probably wouldn't have thought about it, the fact that their mind wouldn't be able to grow is something I didn't think about at all. Like, just because you have this synthetic body, you can't, even your brain can't age. It's not just that your body's stuck. So they have to then figure out. We don't even know if they can right now. They know they got the brain over.
Oh no, yeah.
Even though the doctor said, well, now we have the challenge of actually growing your brain out of adolescence. Because with the synthetic body, it can't produce the hormones the brain needs to go through puberty, to grow, to become an adult at all. So they were like, well, now we have to see if we can figure out how to simulate that. And we don't know if they can. They may be permanently children in the mindset in these bodies. And they truly could end up being lost boys. I love the Peter Pan parallels through it. Like, the themes of the show are the things that have me the most excited. More than a lot of the things that maybe are a little bit more familiar. So I don't know. I just all that I'm so fascinated on. It does get the kind of I guess the flip side of that, or maybe the double-edged sword of that, is when they are sent out on that mission, or whatever, and they are acting like kids in a horrific situation. Like, dead bodies mutilated everywhere, and like, understandably they're acting and reacting in a way that a kid would, and it creates this dissonance in the tone. I get it, but as a viewer, it's just like, this is so weird.
So
I have a hard time, like, I don't know, settling in a
grasping.
weird way.
Yeah.
Like, because sometimes it's like they don't even like, they're not like, obviously they react in a way like they get a little scared or they get a little overexcited, or maybe they're just simply not taking things seriously.
The whole secret thing, dude. I felt bad because she's like, I have a secret. I have a brother.
I thought
Like,
that
she
was
has a
gonna.
brother, and I just like, the fuck, dude. And then even when like
I
when they were
expected that
walking
to
down-
drag out a little bit longer. Then he just
Yeah.
straight out narked on her to
That's his sister.
her
It's like,
brother.
it's like,
Oh
dude.
yeah, by the way, this is Marcy. She's your sister.
It's like,
And
what
he's-
the fuck?
I mean, and that's a kid thing to do.
Yes.
And that scene, like that one didn't bother me too much, but like when they were like kind of like and again, it makes sense in context. It just, again, as a viewer, it feels really weird to watch.
Yeah.
Is the almost slapsticky way the three enter into the room with the ticks and the eye squid.
Yeah.
And it got a little Three Stooges for a second, but it was kids trying to contain this biological entity, and they didn't know what the fuck to do. I wouldn't know what to do. It's not like I can say I'd do any better, but like it's just like it's weird. I can't say it's not weird.
I just love that, like Timothy Oliphant's Kirsch kept saying multiple times, "You're not children. Stop behaving like them." And I'm like, dude, yes, they are. What the fuck are you talking about? And
well,
again,
he's like pure synth, so he doesn't get it.
And it's just him, like not caring, and almost he had this very nonchalant view when it came to Wendy. Of when the doctor was like, let's pump her up with more stuff to get her to grow hormones and whatnot. He's like, why are we treating her like she's human? She's not. And the doctor been like, bullshit. Yes, she is. Look at her. She's standing right there. And again, it's a fascinating thing where he tells Wendy asks, what am I if I'm not human? What am I? He says, whatever you want to be. And then you're like, wow. And then him talking about like, you used to be food. Humans that, you thought, you were food for a while. David monologue, yeah.
A little very David-esque when he started to talk like that. It's like it goes back to the whole conversation with the scorpion too, which I thought was really interesting. To bring that back around now that she's evolved or entered into this new state. It's like you were a human, and humans were meat, humans were animals, humans were food that found a way to game their ecosystem. That doesn't mean that there's not a bigger fish out there, obviously referencing the xenomorphs. That which, out again, there in the grand expanse of the galaxy, there's not going to be a predator we can't fell. And now we're in this situation where now she's no longer even human.
Yeah.
So she's got all the strength, the speed, and all this kind of stuff. But now he's like trying to get her to stop thinking like one while they're trying to hang on to her humanity a little bit more. And it just makes it, again, will they or will they not be able to help her get out of that child mindset ever? Is she always going to be like that? Or is she even going to, like, where is she going to land even on the humanity spectrum? Like if she starts to feel or not feel over the course of the story, because that could go any number of ways. Like where she's going to go, I think is it's the part of the story that I'm most locked in on, I think.
Yeah, the monster stuff is just how we got here. It's what we do with it, and that's why I love this point of view. I love that we're not going to another planet. We're not looking for the money. Like it came to us by force, and we have to follow this person who's still a person, but they're trapped in a new robotic body. And oh, by the way, there's these two companies playing Monopoly while this shit's going down. And again, I love the sentiment of like the scorpion and how much it has that sting, much like a xenomorph, and how that was referenced later on. And then the creature being in a glass jar. Yutani were bringing in species in glass jars. I love the echoes with all this stuff and iconography and analogies. But before we go further, we have a ton of comments I want to go through. So if anybody who's watching this, thank you so much for commenting down below. If you are watching on the rewatch, let us know your thoughts on what we've been talking about thus far, and if there's something we missed, something you find fascinating in a point of view. But let's start with Teagle Neal saying, I like how the series from the opening crawl to the mess hall discussion about the territory carved up by all 5 corporations set the stage for the initial themes and discussion points. Yes. But then the escaped life forms brought the gasoline to the campfire. Exactly. Neverland Research Facility I like for many reasons, both from the philosophical and literal representation of the island with the hybrids. But as the initial 2 hours progressed, there's Wonderland these hybrids reawoke to it, slowly opening itself up to the possibility of becoming a paradise lost due to its owner's greed. Which, funny enough, before Alien Covenant came out, that was the working title for it, Paradise Lost.
Really? I didn't know that.
Another thing I noticed is that Wendy is beginning to hear something. If you're familiar with some of the Alien Dark Horse comics, you'll pick up on what I'm alluding to. Does anyone know the actual budget is for this show? Because the blending of the practical and digital is almost impossible to pick up at times. Before we go further, Jarrell kept hammering about that. He kept saying, dude, where is the CG? He said, I can't tell the CG with these shots. When I'm like, dude, someone cut a fat ass check and they're like, just go with it. Someone was high or someone got someone drunk and they're like, go for it. We don't need CG. Just fucking
the only times I could catch it was usually if there was a background shot and you could see the composition lines on them. Like I only really noticed when they were on the rooftop. Like when I felt like it was the most apparent was I think when they were on the rooftop and the ship was coming down, and then when the recovery crew is crossing that, I mean, I wouldn't even call it a bridge, whatever the hell that little strip of metal it was that they used to cross. You could see some of the edges was comped in, but for the most part, like I'd say just on a glance, I'd say like 75 to 90% of what we see is more than likely practical. There. Which is why like the one little kind of goofy moment, and I appreciate it because they went practical with it, was when on the ship when the alien had just killed that girl and is about to go get Morrow. Like you could kind of tell it was on wheels because it just kind of was like
yes,
slowly scooted without any kind of parallax or movement at all. I was like, meh, meh.
And I gotta admit, it's been said since the 70s, since the first movie came out, how much H.R. Giger was using specific visuals to represent what the xenomorph, what the mouth opening up, what the face hugger means, putting someone in that face, and and I gotta admit, I've seen it multiple times now. Every time that the xenomorph rolls back and its big ass head, I look at it and I'm like,
yeah,
that's
okay.
We're rolling with it. That's the 70s.
That's his claim to fame, man. That's his signature.
Yep.
Like Georgia O'Keeffe.
That's a John right there. Yep. I again, even just knowing that there's a person in that suit, I'm just like, oh man, that feels like that the attacks or whenever it the xenomorph does show up adds more weight. It has more weight that like, oh my gosh, again, probably the best like scared moment or freak out moment I had was when they passed the statue. And initially when Joe was standing behind, in front of the statue, I kept looking at him like, is there something in the background? Like, okay, whatever. They meet up with that fancy pants dude. His buddy comes up, turns around, and we're like, wait a minute. And then as soon as the xenomorph popped up out of the statue, I was like, that is genius. Well done on your timing with that.
Yeah.
And, hiding it. And
that was one of my favorite little bits too, was when it wasn't there and then you pan back and it's in it's with the statue. Because it's just what they do best in general with the way we incorporate the alien into the environments. Is it works really well in ships because of Geiger's stylings, because it looks like an amalgamation of tubes and pipes and random things, and so it blends in with the mechanization or all of the wires, cables, and all that in the ships really well. But then you incorporated that one shot with this abstract statue, and then it just kind of curls in around it, and I'm just like, that's so good.
Yeah, I'm like, whoever okayed that, and then they go to the digital side, which I'm assuming, yes, there are digital stuff in there, obviously, but like having those moments, we appreciate y'all. We don't take that for granted. Let's see. Tioni also says, I'm wondering if the long-term seeds planted in this premiere will set the stage for the state the Earth is in come Alien 4. due to the opening shots of a corporate war. Yeah, because again, I haven't seen it since I was a kid, and I passively saw it. I don't even remember that much of it. But I remember at one point, Ron Perlman says that like Earth is a shithole or whatever. He regards it to that. That like it's a mess. No one's really there anymore. And then,
well, I mean, that's like what, almost 100 years in the future from this point. Almost.
Yeah, I think if Adam's design is right, I believe so. Cause
way more than that.
Yeah, it's over 200.
2381.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then let's see.
I mean, if they keep losing money in all these excursions, eventually you're going to run out of money.
Which of the Neverland hybrids is everyone's favorite, and which one's character arc are you most interested in? I think we talked about that. That it was it's where Wendy's going. Although I'm also keeping my eye out on Kirsch, on Timothy's character, and be like, where is he going? Because again, from the get-go, he was just like, he had this look of like, I told y'all, don't give her too much freedom. If not, she's not gonna focus. And then even when he was sent out on the mission, there's this look on him when the kids find that trap, that eyeball looking thing. It's like, it's quick, and he plugs into the computer. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm part of the cleanup crew. Is this my existence now? And then even when it was it's fascinating, the dynamic. I didn't expect to get like almost emotional in these 2 episodes because of the whole brother and sister thing. And then it cuts to Wendy being like, we found them. And he goes, I don't care about that. Go pick up the animals. We got shit to do. And her like, can it wait? Like, again, he's like, wait? No. Like, again, stop acting like a kid. We got
his delivery was solid on that.
Yeah. And then let's see. Alien Assassination plus Alien Romulus help bridge the gap between Alien and Aliens. Alien Earth, it looks like it has the potential to bridge the gap with the events on Earth before Alien and Alien Resurrection. Yeah, I kept saying that. I told to Omni that beforehand, that design, for the most part, some of the design, even for me, echoes back to Prometheus, which I love Prometheus. It's not Alien, it's not Aliens, but man, out of everything we got post Aliens, it's my favorite thing up until Alien Earth. And that also would vary if they stick the landing on this series. But I love that there's still that 70s aesthetic, and yet we have something as simple as the suits they got is very 2011, 12 Prometheus, Ridley Scott designing for Weyland-Yutani.
Right.
So I like that. Maybe we'll see about that. Noah Hawley shows. Looks like he has 3 for 3 with his TV series projects. That's right, because he did Legion first, which I never seen, but I always heard was wacky, which seeing all this shit, but like, that makes sense. He made Legion, and also he also did Fargo.
I've never seen the show or the film for that one.
Yeah. Hero's Journey. Thank you so much, Hero's Journey. Says, awesome that Omni Media can guest star on this stream. Hey man, he's doing me a favor, and the fact that like we got along, I'm like, phew, okay. And the fact that he's an Alien fan, I was like, okay, my homie can hang out. And yeah, I'm. If I didn't tell you already, Omni, thank you so much for joining me to talk about Alien. I appreciate it.
Sure thing, man. I could be napping right now, but I want to talk about Alien with you.
I still don't understand the 3 or 4 different types of humans.
Well, technically, there's only one type of human.
Yeah.
There are 3 types of synthetics.
Yes.
So you have cyborgs, which are humans mostly with cybernetic enhancements, which is what Morrow is.
Yeah.
He's a human that has had modifications added. That's the term for cyborg. There's part organism, part cyborg. Yeah. A synthetic is entirely synthetic. And then the hybrid, which is a very debatable use of word for what they are, because realistically it's just the consciousness. They're technically still fully synthetic, but it's just they don't think like a synthetic, which is just an AI computer, a machine coded to act however they want to act. Because they can even like tweak those to have certain personalities, as we've seen, but from David to Bishop to shit, I can't remember his name in Romulus, but he was the standout star in that one to me. But I can't remember his No,
that's not.
David's Fassbender.
Yeah. Let's see. He's the brother who, like, yeah.
Fuck.
It's Andy.
Andy, thank you.
Yeah.
They all very, very distinctly different, but at the end of the day, they're not free thinking. They are programmed. They are whatever. In this instance, it is purely a wholly synthetic body, but they've attempted to replicate the brain of a human being in it. So those are the hybrids.
Yeah.
So whether they are or are not still human is kind of the debate that seems to be going on, because you have Timothy Olyphant, Hirsch saying they're not. You have the doctor saying they are. Where's the show going to go? Or maybe there's something completely different now. They could be quite literally a hybrid. Who knows? A chimera of sorts.
Yeah.
But that's what we're working with. And I guess technically the fourth type would just be human if we're on a grading scale.
Yeah. In an evolution scale, if you will. Yeah. Alien Earth is what happens when people with a god complex get bored. Yeah, that's fucking Cavalier. That's Lily.
Yep.
I hate characters that have god complex personality traits. You know what? I kind of like one here and there. Do I want every sci-fi stuff to have it or not? No, but once in a while, it's fun. Like, again, a lot of these actresses, I've never seen their work before, but because of these first 2 episodes, I'm a fan. Like,
dude, I
Cavalier,
didn't know, and I had to call out. The brother is from Andor. It was Nemec. I was looking at him. I was like, you kind of look familiar, but I couldn't place it at all. He was missing the hat. That's what it was. It was all the hat. But yeah, he's our mission statement kid.
Oppression is the mask of fear.
Yeah, dude.
In the panel,
I didn't recognize him whatsoever at first. But yeah, I don't think anybody else I've seen in anything. Obviously, Timothy Olyphant, but I think it ends with him.
Yeah, the brother his name is Nimic in Andor, and and in the panel, I kept trying to, I just kept saying, whenever he would talk, I would be like, Andor, because I didn't want to start quoting his monologue in the middle of Hall H went out. But yeah, it was, and again, very happy that like he's getting new stuff to do, because man, oh man, do I feel the weight when he goes to see if he can leave work early to go to school in Mars. And then that moment, dude, the moment with him and Wendy, that was heartbreaking, dude. I was just like looking at it, and I'm like, because they kept going to black in the second episode, and I'm like, don't you fucking end it, dude? Don't do 30-minute bullshit.
Dude, sometimes when it's like it's only 20 minutes into, and they do a fade to black for the commercials, since it is airing on TV and everything. Right. Like every time, like in my brain, I'm like, I know it's only 20 minutes in, but in my heart, I'm like, I'm so afraid to see text next. I'm like, don't you fucking dare hit me with credits right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that too, with him trying to check out of his contract early, and then just to know and have the context of Romulus in the way that, while he's worked for Prodigy, what we saw in Romulus is Weyland-Yutani, and who knows? I'd be shocked if they weren't just as vile in the way that they handle everything.
Yeah.
But in Romulus, we see how they rig things to keep people locked into their contracts. There is no escaping it. So even if he worked it out to its end, I would not be surprised if even Prodigy would have just loopholed him into another tacked on contract. It's just a messed up world that this all permeates in. So even when he got that denied, I knew that denied was coming, and I was just like, God,
yeah,
you sons of bitches.
A little too real for that angle. Hero's Journey asks, will we get a Predator to show up? To be quite frank, I don't want a Predator to show up. Having said that, I think once this story has been told, if Noah and Dan I'm butchering your name, Dan. I'm sorry, but once if they both want to talk about that later on, that's fine. But even in the prospect of Alien Predator meeting up again, I'm like, you gotta really have a really good reason besides the dollars. I know that's why people want to do it in the companies, but like, there's gotta be a really good reason why you do that and you bring that up, because this is the charm of the show, is that it's on its own. You don't need to know who Ripley is. You don't need to know what the Nostromo or the Sulaco is. You don't need to know that in order to thus far vibe with the show. But also it helps, and also gives you perspective, like, oh wow, there's more room to cover in this universe. There's so much more you can tell. And again, this is the whole aspect of like trying to get out of the work that you don't like anymore, but that you had to work out, or finding a long lost person, even though they're probably not the same person they are anymore. I like that angle, and although I am a huge Yautja fan, I am a huge fan of the Predators. I think for this story, I say let's let it stand on its own, and if somehow some of these characters survive, and they're probably some of our favorite ones, if they survive, and if they later on want to mess around with the Yautja, and it works, I'm open for it. But for right now, I'm liking the story. And if a Predator showed up, if it would feel like too many cooks in the kitchen. It feels like another ingredient that wasn't necessary. Let this meal simmer out and see how it tastes by the end of it. In my opinion, I don't know about you, how you feel about it, Ami.
No, I mean, I'm wholly on board with you. If it's something they want to build up to, or if it was just like a background Easter egg kind of thing, like maybe they had a mask or a hand or something like that, or maybe in one of the containers was one preserved, or like that was one of the species on their expedition they managed to somehow capture with a bunch of scientists. I'd be kind of shocked, but I think Noah Hawley has been very adamant about not playing outside of the the Ridley Scott established playground, because they had talked about it. And I think if from what they've said company wise, publicly at least, is that if anybody's going to do it or might do it, it will be on the Dan side of stuff and whatever they're doing. So you're more likely to see an alien meet a predator in that franchise, because as far as I understand them, they are separate projects, separate timelines, separate everything.
Yeah.
So they're trying to keep all that isolated, and I think that's smart for right now.
Yeah.
But
I think
I wouldn't be against it, but it's not like AVP 1 or 2 were great movies. They were fun, but
first one.
I mean, even in the continuity, AVP, all the crossovers, most of them at least, exist in their own amalgam timelines. Usually most of the films are separate, unless you go to 2 with Predator 2, because there was that Xenomorph skull mounted in the ship that came for Danny Glover at the end.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm kind of like, let's just kind of stay in our own houses for a little bit.
Yeah.
And if we want to hang out, cool. But I think it's one of these situations where we got to get our own house in order before we start inviting people over.
Exactly.
Dan's doing just fine so far with, but in my opinion, with between Prey and Killer of Killers and what we've seen of Badlands. And I mean, they're already like crossing the streams a little bit there, because it's a Predator and a synthetic from Weyland-Yutani teaming up.
All I'm gonna say,
it's already there, so I'm excited for that.
All I'm gonna say is that, like, keep this question in mind until we get to Dan's side of his stories, because of what I saw. Yeah, of what I saw at Hall H, some people are gonna be very happy and shocked of where they go with this. So I say let's put it at TBD and see where we end up at. Onimedia saying her or not her in mind transfer sounds like the ship of Theseus.
No. They are philosophically very different questions. If we're talking about whether or not we're copying a mind or not. Because in this case, there is, I mean, I mean, it still goes back to the original's dead, like that,
Mm,
which is the entire point. If we want to do the Ship of Theseus comparisons, the original is long since gone.
mm.
But in the way that you're rebuilding a model or anything like that, or if we want to talk about One Piece, the way they're talking about rebuilding the Mary or whatever, it's like it's not going, you're not going to do it. Like if you try to build another Honda Civic, it's not your Honda Civic. It's just another Honda Civic that looks like your Honda Civic.
Paint job.
You know, after a while, you know, it's if you replace all of what was originally there, it's effectively a new thing. The mind is a little bit of a different beast, because I know like some people tried to like talk about how our bodies, our cells and stuff are constantly dying and whatever over the course of our lives or whatever. So are we still the same person or are we not? We experience it the same.
Mm-hmm.
But the trick to that question though is that our if our brain is us, which you can latch that to spirit, soul, or whatever, but if we're talking science, the brain is where all of what we are is contained. All our brain doesn't do that. So our brain, we have this, we have all of the cells, unless something happens like brain damage, trauma, or something like that. All through our lives, we have the same brain cells we were born with. As we get older, until we hit maturity, we keep growing more, but they don't die and recycle like the rest of our body does.
Yeah.
So like it's not a 1-to-1 kind of question.
Yeah. Do those mind transfer being have an instant attack mode where all emotion is gone and fully focused on mission completion?
Right now that seems to be something I feel like if they had, they would have turned on, or
Right
Hirsch
now.
would have been like, can we turn that on so we can get out of here?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that doesn't seem to be one, but whether or not there is like an emotional kill switch, I guess maybe it could exist, but they haven't hinted at it at all.
No. I mean, even Cavalier didn't know that she could do the whole hacking thing with the computer. He was just like, wait, what the fuck? And he would keep asking, did we give that to
that
her?
was because I was like, how is she doing all this? And they didn't even know at first. It was cause like with Nebula, almost like she's just on the network, like she's Bluetoothed in effectively. So she data streams it right back. So it is like, it's just, I don't know, what could we do? Is she break free? And then it goes back to that question earlier from Teague about like, what's she hearing right now?
Yeah. Which I found fascinating.
I just don't know why she seems to be the only one acknowledging it. Because I feel like if it was a hybrid thing, they should all be hearing it. I don't know why specifically she can. That's
Could
the
it
only
be?
thing I'm hung up on, because they said like they should, because when they were doing the tests on her, is like they were talking about how they can hear frequencies the human ears can't and whatnot. So like it just goes back to like, why just her? And then I just think she's like, she's not hacking into, but like she's able to hear the low level frequency that they communicate on.
Yeah.
So maybe she's hearing it running around or whatever.
Subconsciously hacking it. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, something like that, or just hearing it in a way, kind of like how some people can hear like dog whistles, or some people can hear certain frequencies that other people can't. So, I mean, it could be that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just we haven't. I think that's another bit of our mystery box we'll probably get at some point.
Yeah.
My question right now is just why the other synthetics, their bodies aren't picking up on it.
Yeah.
Or at least if they are, maybe they aren't acknowledging it, or they're not even. They may just be too distracted to even have mentioned it at this point. Who knows?
Or maybe she's distracted now because of her brother, and that's why she's able to catch it. Like the others are not. The others are just like kids being like, "Oh, we get to go out of the playground."
And she's like locked in, so
On her
she's
brother.
a little more. You might be onto something there.
If you were upgraded through science with speed and strength, how would you act? Same, or would that change your personality? I don't think it would change my personality. It just would change my state of mind in terms of I'm like, okay, I don't have to worry about like Am I gonna break my bone? Is my feet gonna hurt? Is this gonna happen?
I would do so much more dumb shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd do it like with normal me. So like if I didn't have to worry about breaking my bones or whether or not I can make that jump or whatever,
yeah,
I'd be freaking hulking
Active.
around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's a whole other thing too. I was like, I said this in my reaction too. I was like, dude, because I have a chronic cough, I have chronic sinus issues, I have all kinds of stuff like that. So like I always have to like edit out my coughs, me clearing my throat, me having any kind of drainage and shit like that, just for everybody else's benefit. Sorry for the Patreon people, because I ain't doing that over there. But like I was just because in there I had a coughing fit, clearing my throat and whatnot, and I was like, dude, I would trade this fucking face to not have to deal with this anymore.
Yeah.
And the whole other thing too is like you wouldn't have to worry about sleep. You get so much more stuff done. But it just being disconnected from being able to feel things, because we don't know that they can feel anything, because they did say that, I think they said that they can't. So I'm wondering like if that's like an over time that could maybe subconsciously start to alter the way you perceive things.
Yeah.
If you don't have to worry about that. I mean, that changes a lot of your instinctual behaviors too.
Yes.
If you're not reacting to stimulants or things your body is trained to jump back from or jolt back from or whatever. As a synth, would you even get jump scared? Or would you just kind of be like, huh, neat, and just throat chop whoever just jumped out of the corner? Like, what happened there? Yeah, I don't know. It's just really, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
But I would tell you, if I had super straight speed and strength and shit like that, I would be monkeying around on the trees. I'd be just sprinting around, jumping like a dumbass.
I would start vlogging around the world and be like, all right, I'll go hike Mount Everest and take a selfie and be like, hey, all right, I'm bored. Let's go somewhere else.
Wee!
Yeah. Teague O'Neill says, I foresee the Scorpion and the Fox incoming on the show. Yep. I think you're onto something, Teague. Andy, yes, that was the
I don't get that reference.
I think it's one of those old tales, folklore tales of like the Scorpion and the Fox, and how like the Xenomorph or the corporation is now trying to stop what's her name, Wendy, from getting out of their norm, and now she becomes the Fox. I could be reading wrong, Teague. I heard about this story a while back, but like the notion that like, okay, she's evolving, but not the way
they want.
They want, or the way Cavalier wants. Because again, Cavalier wants to make his own unique action figure, and she's like, I mean, it's the first question, when they pose in the first episode, it's like, what am I? And, I let you help save me, thank you, but I'm not here to be your chew. I'm assuming she's gonna say, I'm not here to be your chew toy for the rest of my life or your life. But we'll see. T. O'Neill says, Andy was the synth from Romulus. Yes.
Yeah, when we were both trying to figure that out.
Yeah. Correction. The Scorpion and the Frog. Oh, okay. About trusting, helping out your friend, but the friend might backstab you in the back. Okay. I see what that's at. Darren. Hi, Darren. Hope you're doing okay. Hero's Journeys, ... I know what that means, but I'm excited for episode 3.
Me too, man.
Hey, Hero's Journey. Will we see you and Omnimedia team up for Predator Badlands in a video or stream form?
If time allows.
Maybe, yeah. Again, a lot of this is just timing. A lot of this has to go with what's happening at that moment. I think I could speak from my end. Like, I love having Omni. I love talking to him, but we're on both different coasts, different time zones. So I have to take that into account. And so if by the time Badlands comes out, I'm probably going to do a stream for Badlands. And if Omni's down and he's free, mi casa su casa. And I'm pretty sure I've told him this far that he's always welcome to hang out with us. But again, it'll vary on where we're at right now. But I think I can speak for both of us. We're pumped as fuck for Badlands.
Yeah. I've always been a Predator guy more than an Alien guy anyway, but
Yeah, I go back
I
and forth. Yeah, I fucking love both.
there's never been any back and forth for me.
At Darren, go to hell after all the times you started. Shit. Okay. I don't know. I think
Is there some history here, or is
yeah,
this
I don't know.
ribbing?
He's probably just fucking with us or fucking with him. Back to Predator talk. When does Badlands take place in the timeline? Okay. So from what Dan said in Killer Killers, outside of the period stuff. When it came to the future in space, he specifically didn't put a timeline because he didn't want to be what's the word? Hold down to like continuity and timeline wise. Like
We have
who
no
knows
idea.
where that? Yeah.
Sometime in the future.
I mean, hell, for those, I think you're the one who asked about Predator being in this show. Maybe all that stuff that's happening in Badlands and Killer Killers, maybe that's happening right now at the same time as Alien Earth in a completely opposite, different corner of the universe. But you never know.
Yeah, don't know.
Does she connect to computer by using flesh brain, metal chip, or computer and head? Other? Well, I believe Cavalier said that they put something in her. Yeah. Which is why she was able to do that stuff.
Her entire body is synthetic. It's not. There's no flesh at all in her whatsoever. It's whatever they downloaded that made her.
Yeah.
And put her into that. Yeah. So whatever data they're using to track her, to listen to her, to see what she sees, she's able to use the same connection to manipulate their tech.
Yeah. So Star Wars style, where timeline is huge.
I mean, if you're looking at the grand scheme of everything, it's a pretty broad spectrum if we're including Predator into the mix. Because then you're going as far back as we've seen to like BC, and then all the way up until what's the farthest we know of. I think that has a date, at least, that we can reference is Alien Resurrection in 2030-81 or 2381. But other than that, I don't know, because we also have no clue where. I mean, Badlands could be in 25 some. We don't really know.
Yeah.
But I mean, we got a large like span of time. I mean, at least by Badlands, we at least. Well, I mean, we don't even know if Badlands directly connects to Killer of Killers either, though. We don't know where it is in sequence with that yet.
Yeah. From what I saw, it didn't reveal too much. But then again, I think what Dan
there's going to be a connection, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like there's a connection to all the other movies in Killer of Killers, but it doesn't. All it tells you is that it's after those movies. It doesn't let you know when that moment takes place.
Especially with those post-credit scenes where like you see where all the characters are being held and cryo freeze. It's just like they I'm pretty sure they're all been held up for a while now, and it's just a matter of like when they get out and how will they get out and just how much of a shockwave they're going to be at after getting out of being asleep. Is my thought on that. Hero's Journey says by synthetic they are 3D printed. I think Prodigy and Yutani and Weyland-Yutani probably have a little bit more money than having to rely on 3D, but I could be wrong. They probably have the amount of best money can buy to make those androids. Do any episodes this season have post or pre-credit scenes? I don't know yet. That I might be able to determine in the next few days, TBD. But even I mean, I love that you brought that up. I haven't even seen the trailer for next on Alien Earth. The next on this season. I haven't seen that much of it because I'm like, you know what? I went in cold to this series. I want to stay cold throughout the series because I don't want to be able to tell what's going to happen because that was so much of the fun of these first episodes that I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I'm in.
Yeah, I don't,
and I'm not bored.
Once I start a show, I don't watch any of the next week on or mid-season trailers. That seems to be a new fad of the last couple of years.
New trend, yeah.
So I don't partake because I'm just going to find out next week as part of the fun. Going as blind as possible. I don't watch every trailer anymore either. Just even before them, I think I just watched the first trailer for this, and then that was it.
Yeah. Folks, I think we're gonna start wrapping things up because I think we hit a lot of points with us. I mean, the breaking down of episodes, like we said, go watch the episodes, and on both our channels, there's plenty of us giving our feedback after each episode. But yeah, let me ask you this before we go, Ami. Did you have a favorite moment out of the 2 episodes?
Favorite moment?
Because mine was the reunion. Mine was the reunion of Wendy and Joe. Although I must admit, me and Darrell were laughing our asses off when the Commodore guy was like, "There's so much sound happening in my party," and he's like, "Sir, there's a ship in the fucking building. Get out!" And he's like,
"That was kind of funny."
He slams the door.
That was pretty funny, and I was just like, "Fuck him." Yeah, all right, we tried. Bye. Damn, I don't really know, man. There's a couple great moments. I'll tell you, like, one of my favorite scenes that they executed in it, I think, that worked the best for me was when it was her turn to guide the other kids through, and the way we kind of had that continuous shot of all of them being swapped out into their new bodies, and it just kept going until they were all done. I was like, that was just a really fun, smart way to do it. We'd go up, we'd see the Peter Pan thing, we come down and they're swapped, and we come down and we swap, and the whole spinning around that, I thought that was great.
In Hall H, I just kept leaning into my chair when it was happening. I was like, it's a Warner. It's a Warner. What the fuck? And people were like, no way. I'm like, look at it. I mean, there's probably cutouts, but moments. But I'm like,
there's got to be some stitching in there.
Yeah.
If they weren't doing that, and they did do that in one solid thing, and they were just like, I mean, there's no way to know unless they straight up we see the behind the scenes on it or anything like that, or they talk about it. But they could have done it either way. I mean, the whole pan up, that's a perfect cut point to do that the way they did. I mean, we've seen them do that in like Daredevil and stuff like that, and all kinds of other shit. So like, who knows? But it could also be a Cobra Kai thing too, where the camera's in the right spot, and then they're just swapping actors in and out while it's not looking at them. It could be in real time.
Yeah. All right. Last comments. So see you 2 next week. Next week is going to be, it's going to be tricky. We were talking about this beforehand. It's going to be tricky next week because we're both going to be covering Peacemaker. I want to make these streams happen the Wednesday, the next day following each new episode. Just because that means at least Thursday for me to focus on Peacemaker, and then Friday I might even do a stream for Peacemaker. Folks, these next few weeks is gonna be busy as hell covering these 2 shows, but I'm pumped for it. But the scheduling is gonna be key. It varies on.
At least it's not multiple episodes each day.
Oh no, like Andor, which I love Andor, but that was
a pain in the ass.
Yeah. And Tony knew. I love how Tony was like, I feel bad for other people with the podcast and whatnot. I'm like, yes, thank you, Tony, for acknowledging that. TBD Hero's Journey. Like I said, Omni, Mi Casa Su Casa. If we can make timing and scheduling work out, I would love to talk about this again with him. And also, Hero's Journey, like I'll say later on, right before we end, spread the word. Spread the word to people that this show is out. Go watch it, and people are willing to talk about it. We have a water cooler moment with this show and Peacemaker happening. So let people know, let other creators know that, like, if you're an Alien fan or you're not an Alien fan, but you are digging the show or are into it, come hang out with us, and I'll check their stuff out. And if they're cool people, I'll happily have them on the show, and I would love to geek out with them. Keyblade Master Jeffrey, hi Ronan and hi Omni, just coming in to say hi. Can't wait for coverage for Peacemaker season 2. Just you wait, Jeffrey. Just you wait for season 2 of Peacemaker. There's lots to talk about. Hermano, thank you so much for taking the time out of your nap time to hang out with me. Please tell people where they can find you and plug anything you got coming out in the pipeline.
Woo! You can find me at Omni Media, quite literally everywhere, because nobody else would type their name this stupid. But I mean, other than I just put up my first public reaction for Gravity Falls. Yeah. So that's a new series I just kicked off here. I mean, on Patreon, I'm on episode 5, but episode 1's finally on YouTube as of today. Our movie reaction for this month is The Fifth Element, so that'll be coming because I've never seen it in full at all. So I'm looking forward to that. And then just Peacemaker. We got more Alien Earth. We got Twisted Metal. We got 2 more weeks of that, and it's been a blast. And then you can watch me probably slowly die over the course of the winter holidays if you want to see what I look like at the end and if I even survive Stranger Things season 5.
And Fallout.
I really hope it comes out in the gap between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
I swear to God, it better not overlap. We don't know. Who knows if they're gonna? I mean, knowing what they did last time, I'm just wondering if they're gonna dump it all again.
Yeah,
I hope they don't, but we'll see.
And yeah, folks, I just dropped my review for Peacemaker. I had a blast putting out the reactions for Alien Earth. I might drop a few more shorts and TikToks in the next 2 days leading up to it. And yeah, right now, the main thing on my docket is Alien Earth and Peacemaker. And then I might throw in some curveballs here and there of ideas I've been wanting to put out. And I think December looks like Fallout and Stranger Things. And we'll see. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of crazy ideas I want to accomplish till then. But for anybody who bothered hanging out with us and commenting and just watching us geek out about this show, thank you so much. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the enthusiasm across all mediums, across all languages, all countries and continents, and let the word out. Put the word out. And
every planet,
every corporation. But yeah, until then, everybody, take care and have a good night.